Hey guys, Let Your Light Shine again with another Ranting with Wine by Let Your Light Shine. I don't know when I'm going to put these out. It's not going to be every other day or every once a week. It's just going to be whenever I think of something. So, gotta have my wine. I'm in the same place. It's a lot easier to do it, do my rants at my buddy's house because I don't have dogs in my cat Chalice. Well, it'd actually be kind of cute to have my little Chihuahua, but they're not barking in the background, so I don't have to like worry about that situation. So. Anywho, today's rant is going to be about why I never fit in when I lived in Orange County. So let's get your sippy on. Drink of choice. Mine is Franzia Chardonnay. Looks so classy, doesn't it? So let's sippy and get started with this story. All right, so I'm going to sip. Some good shit, man. Okay, so my whole life, I lived in Orange County, born and raised in Anaheim. Then when I finally moved out at 21, I moved into a little apartment. My first apartment, God, where the hell did I go? Oh, Fullerton. I moved to Fullerton, this little lake apartments, and then to Cypress. And then I bought a house with my first husband in Tustin. Then I divorced said husband, thank God. And then I moved into a little junior apartment in Brea. And then from Brea, I lived in Fullerton for a short moment, and then bought a condo in Yorba Linda, and that's where I was the last years until I moved out to Henderson, Nevada. But actually, when I was a kid living in Orange County, I didn't really see. Things have changed, I guess, because I was born and raised in Anaheim, California in 1972 is when I was born. So back in the 70s, and again, I was a kid, and I'm very gullible and naive, and I don't always see things that are out there. Probably a good thing, though. Maybe it's a protecting thing. I have no idea, but I didn't notice the narcissism or the self-entitlement or just the all about image kind of bullshit that people are today. I know I'm seeing it out here too, so I'm not saying it's only in Orange County. It's just a lot out there. And I don't know what it's been since, because I have not stepped foot back in California since I moved out here in 2019. So when I was a kid, the funny thing is, I didn't know how my siblings were, not minus my oldest brother, because he was like me. We were both a little socially awkward, and you know, he was also, unfortunately back then, being gay was a big deal. Like, you know, you had to hide that stuff. So he wasn't accepted by my family, my mom and dad, about being gay and stuff. So I think he lived more of a kind of a low-key life in that situation. But he was, you know, he was kind of like me in that way, as far as just being awkward, where my other brother and my other two sisters, they fit in just fine, you know. So, but again, for some reason, I guess just because of, like, I don't remember too much, but I think when you're a kid, like, you have this like protecting thing, kind of like animals do when they know they're going to get eaten by prey. They hide, or they do certain things just by instinct. And it's weird because when I look back on those days, I'm like, man, I was never home. I was always either at Melissa's house down the street, James right behind me, Donnie Ann across the street that way, Amy across the street that way, Jessica down the way. All were like either a bike ride or a walk away. And then later, Kelly. So I was always at somebody's house, just never home. And I'd wonder, I'm like, why was I never home? And it's like, I got reminded later. So let me get another sippy because I have a little bit of a clearing of the said throat, and then we'll continue on. So I think I protected myself from my own family, really. And I didn't really want to be home anyway, because my mom was always screaming at my oldest brother because he was always in trouble doing something that would piss him off, whatever it was. And plus, you know, he started being a little more open about him being gay. My mom did not like that, being a Catholic, being raised Catholic. That was just like, no, you're not gay. Then it was just so lame. But anyway, I could hear her screaming at him all the time. If I was at James's house behind, or Amy's house across the street, I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to be home to this. So I always kind of adopted myself in families that I became friends with. So I would go on vacation with these people Oh yeah, Debbie too. I forgot about hers. I remember going to Yosemite with Debbie and her family. And then with Donnie Ann, I'd go to church with them. And then with Amy, I would go to her, I wanted to say swap meets. They're not swap meets. They're, the discus, javelin, shot put, all the track meets. Thank you. I couldn't even think of it. I'd always go to their practices. I was like part of the family. I would just go everywhere with all these people. And James, I remember his mom taking me with him to his little Wednesday school. It was like a preschool. And Melissa, I would just go and hang out over there. But that's another thing, mysteries. I never knew some of these neighborhood kids did not like our family when we moved in. So Melissa's brother and older brother and sister were really mean to me. And I'm not saying that, I had this tendency as well as a kid, because I'm a weird kid. I'm a weird person. I get it. So that I would, if I'm getting bullied, which I had realized, I think that's why I was doing this, because my middle sister still claims I do this today, and I do not do this. But she's like, you always pin your friends against each other. I'm like, yeah, I did when I was little. You're absolutely right. I wanted them all to myself. And I'm like, God, why did I do that? I'm like, well, no wonder. I was tag along Chrissy, tag along, clap, clap. That's what her and my older sister would do. They do the song at me, leaving me out on everything. I mean, we all shared a bedroom upstairs, and I had this little room, like it turned like an L-shaped bedroom, and I had the L part of the room with a single bed by myself, and they would share their bed. They always left me out and just called me tag along Chrissy. And I think in my little self head, I'm like, well, I got to have my friends all to myself. They're mine, mine, mine. I don't want to share them because I'm going to be left out. I'm going to be third wheel. I'm thinking that's what happened. That's because I obviously don't do that now. So, but the funny thing is, like, I probably learned it from her because she was leaving me out. I'm like, duh. Anyway, doesn't matter. But I just know, like, as a kid, you do things to protect yourself just instinctively. Like, you don't have that mental health knowledge yet. You don't read books on how to help. And I don't think back then they even had stuff like that yet. They weren't even talking about narcissism that I know of. They probably were. I just was fully unaware of it. It took just about 10 years ago when my friend Gina told me about narcissism that I started looking into it going, oh my God. So another breaky, and I'll be back with more stories. I'm taking my older brother out of this equation 100% because he's not anything. He didn't do anything wrong. Like, he was annoying sometimes, but that was about it. Like, he didn't ever do anything mean, okay? So I'm leaving him out of this whole entire storyline. Just my middle brother, my middle sister, and older sister. So I'm the youngest of 5 kids. And I don't know if this matters in placement, but I'm the youngest of not only my family that I was raised by, but both cousins, both my mom's side and my dad's side of the family. I'm the youngest in there too. So, and I was told from my brother, not the oldest brother, but the other brother, that my middle sister was freaking jealous that I was born because she wanted to be the baby of the family. And I did see pictures of her give me major stink eye while I was in a crib and she was just like a little toddler. Because again, here's the age differences as well. If you guys wonder, like, well, no wonder why they hung out and left you out. They're older than you. Not really. I am a little under 2 years younger than my middle sister. Like, not even 2 years. It was almost like we're Irish twins, but a little bit more months, like 17 months apart. And then she's 2 years younger than my older sister. So we're all about the same as far as close of age. And then my brother is, so I got 2 years, 4 years, and my middle brother's 5 years apart from me. And then my oldest brother was 9 years apart. So there you guys go. It makes no sense that they would leave me out unless there was like a 10-year difference. I get it. Like, hey, it's a baby, like, but I wasn't. So, but it didn't help that I guess not only was my sister jealous that I was the baby of the family, but my mom didn't help things when she would always call me the baby. Like, oh, my baby. And like she always calls me the golden child, the middle sister. I'm like, I'm not. Maybe, I don't know, but I didn't like that my mom didn't help things because it made them more mad at me. And then I don't know if she just teamed up with the older sister because they would always leave me out on everything. And once in a while, if I ever hung out with my older sister, because there was times I did and I did enjoy her, the middle sister would try to sabotage it in some way. And she is just not a nice person, this middle sister. Like, she has caused a lot of grief. And everyone kisses and drinks her Kool-Aid, kisses her ass and drinks her Kool-Aid. So there's really nothing I can say about that. It happens. I mean, if you've got money, then I guess you win. Because money, there's power in money. And I'm just not about money. So I'm not about, like, I honestly, if I'm wearing like clothes with like a logo, a brand, it's only because it was given to me or I found it at the thrift store. I wear hand-me-downs and I always have, and I am okay with that. Like, I do not care. But the problem is, where I lived in Orange County, apparently it matters. And that is what made me feel very left out. So let me take a break and I'll be right back. Okay. I'm trying not to go all over the place because this could be a long one. Okay, so now I'm older. My brother had this friend. And for some reason I had a crush on him at the time. But, you know, obviously, because I used to tag along with my brother to go hang out with him, because I guess he met him through ITT, Technical Institute. They went to a school together. And I would hang out with his friend. And this friend had a girlfriend at the time. So obviously I'm not going to say anything or would do whatever. But everybody thought this one girlfriend was a major bitch, you know? And I'm like, yeah, she is a bitch. Like, she's not very friendly. I didn't know anything about it. Fast forward years later, my sister is dating a guy who works at the same company as this guy, right? My first husband. And I just like, hey, by the way, I've always had a crush on that guy, you know? Honestly, of all the regrets in my life, this was one of them. Anyway, so they told him, and then they set us up on a date, and then we started like dating. And then my brother, being his friend, he's like, oh my God, that's like Mary Poppins hanging out with the devil. And I was like, oh, like, because I'm so like, I'm just naive, you know, and this guy would pig talk, and I didn't know too much about his unethical ways, but in my head, like the way my family, the way my mom and dad were, I just wanted to get the hell out of that house. And I felt like, well, what happens if my car breaks down? What happens if this breaks? What? And he was just as handy as my dad. I always thought in those days, again, I'm 53 years old. Nowadays, women don't need men to like survive. They don't, you know, they can be alone, they can be single, and it's okay. But back in my day, you were an old maid if you didn't get married. So I thought that was what you did. You get married and then you have a handyman. Wow. Like I don't need my dad anymore, you know? So it was just like, it was a secure feeling, like a safety feeling. And so unfortunately I married the guy. Well, because he's my brother's friend, guess who I'm hanging out with? And because my sister's boyfriend also worked with him, I'm hanging out with my sister now, my brother, my other sister once in a while. She didn't, I can't say she's as bad as my brother and sister are, my middle sister, but sometimes she drinks the Kool-Aid too, which she did because of the inheritance situation. She definitely drank the Kool-Aid. She's got Stockholm Syndrome with my mom, so my mom could abuse her all her life and she still thinks, you know, she's okay. So like, it's just there's very weird shit going on with that girl, but I don't know too much. I just know what they told me because I'm never home. So it is what it is. But anyway, so now I'm being subjected to my siblings now because of the first husband thing. You know, I was hanging out with, yeah, obviously I'm married to him. We bought a house in Tustin, and now I'm hanging out with my siblings. And that's when I got to see what a-holes are in life. And then they had his friends were no better. I was like, my God, I always subjected myself I always gravitate towards nerdy, genuine, weird, strange and unusual people. I think they catch my attention more than these people that are all about image and have to do the right thing and network and just know each other for what they're good for. It just wasn't my thing. So I have no idea why again, it must have been just have to get out of the house, have a safety issue, because that's the only reason I can only think why I even married this guy. So again, another break, because I don't like to have my segments go too long. Okay, so now I'm hanging out with him and his boat partner friends, which unfortunately one of them found my channel, so he watches. And if you are watching, you are okay. Sometimes you got on my nerves, but for the most part, your wife is amazing. I've always liked her, so hello to you. And to you, hi, I guess, but you know, I don't know. I didn't care for that group of people. I was glad to be gone because it just, everything that my ex-husband would do, it was either work in the system or friending people because they were good for something, and they would unfriend them, and then like he was done with them. But for some reason, I would always get the blame. And so this is the kind of people I started subjecting myself to involuntarily. And I started seeing that my sister was just as bad. Her and him would get together and do shady stuff. And for some reason, I always got the blame for it at the end. So I don't know if he threw me under the bus, smear campaign me, or what. But one example is when he was working at his job, and there was a couple that also worked there, and that company was going to go to Mexico for a trip, and my sister and boyfriend, her boyfriend, wanted to go. Well, this trip allowed the employee to have a +1 with them. So my ex-husband said, oh, let's friend up with these people, which he knew them, but didn't know them that well. So him and my sister got together, like, yeah, let's friend up with these two, because if they go at Mexico, they're a couple. They don't need, they're each other's +1, but they have a +1 on top of that. She can invite me, and he can invite my boyfriend, and we can all be together, not thinking that we're gonna even hang out with this couple at all. Okay, so I'm associated because I'm married to this guy. But for me, I genuinely like these people. So like all of a sudden we were hanging out with this couple a lot, and we're like, okay, okay, that's cool, I guess. And I remember he was making some haunted house at his house, and I was cool with that. And back when AOL was big on the computer, when internet was like first beginning, they would be on the AOL little chat boxes, and so I'd chat with them and all this stuff. And then something happened where either that guy lost his job and they broke up. Something happened where only she was going. So now there goes that idea of my sister and her boyfriend going anymore. So then my ex-husband just unfriended them, like, okay, well, you're not worth anymore, so I'm not gonna talk to you anymore. And I'm like, okay, well, I still like them. Well, then when I get on the AOL chat to say hi, she completely blocks me. I think you can do that, or so whatever happened, I just remember going, blocked. I'm like, the hell? And then, so now it's just us two going to Mexico, and I see her because she gets off the bus and she only talks to my ex-husband. I was like, well, what the hell? Why am I? It's like she took it out on me. I'm like, I understand that was my sister, but I have nothing to do with this shady situation. I never was behind this, never thought it was cool. It always bothered me. But that whole group, that's what they did. They were always friends with each other because they were good for something. And oh my God, my ex-husband also like pulled a shady trick on the bow partners. So if you're listening, here you go, buddy. His friend, forgot her name, Denise. Anyway, she, I think, worked at Yamaha or Suzuki, one of those places. I thought it was Yamaha. And at the time, they also wanted to own a jet ski. And they got a jet ski, but they wanted to own like a Sea-Doo or Wave Runner, whatever Yamaha owns. So she ends up, because she's an employee there, she got not only an employee discount, but like wholesale. So she got it for like really cheap. But she wanted to, but it was his idea, like, hey, if you want to make money off this, so it's like, hey, I'll do something for you if you did something for me. And so he wanted something, so all of a sudden now we're hanging out with this couple. And I'm like, well, I like her. She seems cool, so does he. Nice people, right? So I'm looking at it as new friends. He's looking at it as, what can we do to get a good deal off this, Wave Runner that we're going to buy, our Sea-Doo. So they buy that, so him and, like, he buys it through her company, because I remember going to the company, the place to buy said, vehicle, some watercraft vehicle, whatever. And then they were gonna tell the boat partners he paid this much for it, so that way they pay their allotment, and then he splits the difference with her. So they, oh, nice friend, huh? So he was gonna lie to you guys and, cheat you guys out of what the real price was, because he's shady as fuck. So, and in my head going, okay, this is all bad. Like, this is just bad karma. And of course, I'm always getting the blame for it. So I don't know what happened, but she got pissed and she took that Sea-Doo Wave Runner back. Like, I guess she realized, because he stopped friending her because he got what he wanted. Why need to be friends anymore? He just, completely like, we're not friends. I already got what I needed. Well, she took that shit back. And so, never talked to us again. And I remember when she showed up, she didn't even talk to me. I'm like, oh my God, here I go. Here I'm getting blamed again, because guilty by association. My bad for marrying such a shady asshole. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not behind any of this. If you guys only knew, like, it really kind of bugs me that I still get blamed for stuff that I'm like, if you only knew I wasn't behind this, I'm just here. So naive and freaking oblivious to the shade they're pulling. It's not how I roll. It's not how I am. The most shadiest thing I do is when I go to the casino to play Keno and I bring my own wine. Ooh, you know why? Because the service sucks and they never come around. Okay, that's why I bring my wine. So if that's shady, whatever. But I wouldn't have to if they would come around. So that's the only reason why I do that. So if you want to call that shady or hypocritical, it's all good. I need to take a quick breaky again. So there was a lot of stuff like that, and I didn't fit into that mindset. And I'm not saying everybody in Orange County is like that, but a lot are. It's like, are you good for something? You're not? Oh, well then we don't need to be friends with you. So he did a lot of things like that, like because he worked at a place that would, it was a copy machine place. He, there was a place that was grand opening and they were giving out these $5 coupons. He would take it to work, copy a shitload of those coupons because they're not unlimited. They're limited coupons because it was a grand opening. And then he would just go in, buy one thing, go in, buy one thing. It was like $5 off. I don't think there was even just had to pay for something over $5. So he would just go and buy something for $6, go to his car, go back out, go into the store, do it again. There was an employee there that started to get to know him because it was like, oh, it's you again. And the manager, apparently he friended him. Again, let's friend him because, you know, we need something out of him. And then the manager got wind of what was going on and banned my ex-husband from going into said store and fired that employee because he thought it was him giving him coupons, and it wasn't true. But do you think my ex-husband was gonna like save the day and say something? Of course not. It was just like, well, I got what I wanted. Again, it was just, to me, like, no, like that's not how we roll, man. But that's how my sister's like that, he's like that, and put them together and it's like a disaster. So I'm like, yeah, not okay. So, oh, and then he also, we would get movie tickets, preview movie tickets, and my friend from work, she would say, hey, they're giving out movie tickets for a movie that hasn't come out yet. You're going to be the first ones to see it. You got to go to Virgin Records and ask for them. You know, they only give you a certain amount. So what did he do? He took the tickets, copied them. Well, guess what? There's only a certain amount of tickets sent out because there's only a certain amount of seats in the freaking theater. So, of course, get in front of the line, and then somebody in the back of the line doesn't even get to watch the damn movie because he made copies of said tickets exactly. He was really good. He's a very perfectionist. Made these tickets to the T so they look like genuine tickets. And then he would give them to more friends that he would invite, and then somebody in the back that showed up with a genuine ticket couldn't come in because there's no more seats. Does he give a shit? No, of course not. And I thought, is that how people are anymore? Like, this is how people are. And I'm married to this piece of shit. Like, wow, this is not how I roll. Like, holy crap. So I started feeling uneasy because that's just not how I am, and that's not how I plan to be. And I just thought, man, that's some badass karma coming your way. I don't understand it, but it is what it is. I guess people just are like that out there. So another break as I keep talking. So hopefully this is not too long of a situation here. Okay, so past all that, I divorced the asshole, thank God. I walked away from the house. The house, okay, this is what disgusts me is, again, I'm not about the money. I just want to get the hell out of that marriage. My savings as a kid put that down payment on that damn house. That house is probably worth a lot of money. I'm sure it is in Tustin, California. It's a nice house. He remarried, whatever. Good for him. Although my sister, I don't know, she said she's hideous. That's what my sister was saying. I really don't give a shit. All I know is that she got weirded out when I friended the neighbor, and she would always comment right away if I would say something on his Facebook. Comments about her house. I'm like, girl, you can have it. I don't give a shit. You can have him too. Do you think I really give a shit? No, I don't. I'm so glad to be away from that bullshit. He's all yours. He's all yours. Girl, it's all good. But I left that marriage. I walked away from it. I'm like, So I moved on. And I met Steve-O through that group. So I would say the best thing that happened in that group is I met Steve at the time because he was a quirky weirdo dude, and we got paired off at some golf tournament. He was wearing mint green pants, and I was like, oh my God, he's very nerdy. Like, okay, that's cool. So again, I was like, okay, he is not like any of these people in this group, so probably gonna get along with him just fine. Anywho, so that's how that went down. That was so long ago. So anyway, so I moved on. So now I'm married to Steve. He decided he had this tiny little condo in Fullerton, and he had a good, he was down, like almost owned it. So that thankfully had a nice big down payment on a condo in Yorba Linda. I don't know why he wanted to move in Yorba Linda because I didn't know much about that town, although it's Richard Nixon's birthplace and it's a land of the gracious living. But he thought, oh, the schools are good there, because we're planning to have kids. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm having kids. I never think to have kids, you know, because I'm like, what do I know about raising kids? I still don't know what I'm doing, okay? So I'm not saying I'm mother of the year in any way. But anyway, so we moved to Yorba Linda. I think I could have survived Yorba Linda if I didn't have kids. Let's just put it that way. The moms there are frickin' Stepford wives. Holy shit. Oh my God. Like, I should have lived in Fullerton or Placentia or Corona, I wish I moved out here a lot earlier, like Henderson. I mean, people have better things to think about. They mean so freaking petty. I lived in a Stepford wife town. Girl, look at it. Hand-me-down girl. I clean homes for a living. You think I fit into that bullshit? Hails no. Another break. Hails to the no. Okay. Not only is Orange County all about image and who you are, and oh my God, nobody would talk to my ass because I'm a freaking housekeeper. There's no benefit in knowing me. There never has been. So the only genuine friends I've had, by the way, in Orange County are the ones I've known since kindergarten. So, and I'm still friends with them today. So they're genuine. And then there's a few from church. And that's about it. Oh, no, take that. Geocaching. Forgot about geocaching. I met my nerdy friends. Oh my God. So thankful I found a hobby that my sister and husband would make fun of me about. But you know what? Screw you. It was my thing. It was my jam. I like nerdy. And so geocaching was my jam. And it was like, finally I could fit in somewhere in this freaking town, because I could not fit into this whole Stepford wife thing. And kids have to be number one. I realized at the end of it all, which I did have this set on an older Ranting with Wine, over programming your kids, is that when my younger kid was in color guard, winter guard. So winter guard is when they're just dancing with the flags. Really cool. But apparently the coach wanted them to throw off their game a little bit. So when they did the classification, they would be in class AA. There's A, AA, and AAA. So, okay, whatever. So AAA, I believe it's one or the other. Either A is like the best or AAA is the best. Which one ever? She wanted to be kind of like, you know, we're not that bad, but we're not that great. But we are that great, because a lot of these girls, they're Stepford wives. Although these moms were cool though, but these girls had dance, and they had gymnastics beyond just dance, doing the thing. This is public school, but yet they still had all this background dancing experience. So I'm like, of course they're good. Hello. So, I mean, my kid went to a gymnastics class through the city. So it was like, you know, real cheap for like an hour a week or whatever. So that's all I could afford, but it is what it is. I don't really want to compete. But so they made it finals all the way to the very end, number one, because they were competing against schools that were not as, you know, I don't want to say talented, but not as, they were above that. You know what I mean? That's why they had classification, so you can compete against people in your class. Like if you're a beginner, then you compete against the beginners, and if you're intermediate, and if you're advanced. These kids were more advanced, and I'm like, well, why are you competing against the intermediate? You're going to win every time. I saw the advanced kids, and they were really good, and there was no way we would have made first place every time. So I know that what she was getting herself into. So I started doing some research, and I asked other parents who would actually give me the time of day, the ones I cleaned for, and they're like, oh yeah, my son's in a baseball thing, and yeah, there's other parents that put their kids in a lower classification so they can, you know, be top of the, you know, team. So that's what you do? Is that how you get your kid to be number one? I'm like, wow, like you can't just let them just play and have fun. And there was a whole thing on KFI about that. Like, stop over programming your kids and stop pushing your kids to be number one in school. They're going to burn out, or not school, but the sports. They're going to burn out. And they do. Like, I don't know what these kids are like today, but I never agreed with that. And I'm like, if my kid makes a friend and doesn't get in trouble, because I had a hard time with my older kid getting in trouble a lot. Trust me. So like, it's like, if you could just make it the day, just, you know, make a friend and don't get in trouble, I am happy. I don't care about, you better be number one. You better have straight A's. But that's how it was in that town. And I'm sure a lot of towns outside of Yorba Linda are no different. It's all those bougie ass Stepford wife towns. And I'm like, I do not fit in here. Holy shit, I do not. I just want down to earth people where you're happy if your kid just, you know, passes, and we're just having fun, and we made friends, and we're good. I don't have to be rich. I don't have to work some bougie ass career job. That's why I don't like talking to other parents and like, oh my God, like, so what do you do for a living? Like, oh my God, I'm like a doctor and a lawyer. Like, no, fuck that shit. Like, I work at a fucking supermarket and I clean toilets. And then I work for Garden Center newsletters, and then I play Keno. Okay? That's what I do. Now, if I said that in Yorba Linda, they'd be like, oh, really? so let's not talk to her. Yes, I drink Franzia. I drink wine out of a fucking box. Okay, so go suck a bag of dicks. That's what I'm just saying. So, quick break. So, finally, I know I'll talk about another one, what finally got me to move out to Henderson. That's another story. Again, stemmed by my sisters, mainly the middle sister. I think the older sisters just drank the Kool-Aid, and so she just does whatever the middle sister tells her, which is unfortunate. But anyway, we moved to Henderson, and I was like, people have real problems here. They're not so petty. Nice. No one gives a shit. No one cares if you're gay or if you're transgender or bisexual. No one cares if you're just weird like me. Like, no one cares. They got their own issues. Like, everyone's minding their business. Like, no one's judging anybody. I'm like, wow, this is so different. Why didn't I move out here a long ass time ago? I don't give a rat's ass about blending into that society. I never will. Weird that I watch Bravo Housewives, but I guess I just want to watch it because I want to see how the rich, really are in their messed up lives. And it's like, they're exposing it. Nice, But I don't give a rat's ass about that. I mean, I would hear my sister and both narc sister and husband talk about their, oh my God, so like we went to here to go skiing. We're going to go fly out to Washington to go see so-and-so play the concert. Like, who gives a shit? But yeah, I had nothing in common. Like, what did I do today? Well, let's see, cleaned a house and did absolutely nothing else after that. Like, I don't have all that to say, and I just felt so out of place all the time. I'm like, I'm better off not talking. I think if I could rewind myself back in the day, what would I have done different? First, I wouldn't have married that husband, that first husband. God forbid, I regret all of that. All I can say is grasp, like they say, how to delete your personal history is like, take it all in, embrace it, like, thank you for making me who I am today, and then throw that shit away, because lots of regrets there. Just no good memories with that guy. Like, I just, I'm glad you're enjoying the house, by the way. I'm just stupid ass me walked away from it all. All I asked was $10,000 to pay off my car, and he was trying to get me to use my own American Express card to pull a loan to pay off my car. I was like, no, I'm not that stupid, dude. Like, seriously. All I took from that house was my piano, the furniture that my boss gave me, which was old and used, and my stank-ass dog with rotten teeth. That's all I took. So, and my clothes. But I left a lot behind, and I'm like, damn, because I had some cool stuff. I'm sure he sold it off. I had some cool posters that my oldest brother gave me that had, like, Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. And I was like, what did I do with those posters? I don't know where they are, and I know I hadn't left them in that house. And I'm like, oh man, because Andy had like a lot of cool stuff like that. I do have my Andy Warhol painting from him. It's not an authentic real one. But I did take that. I have one thing that it was Ingrid Bergman. It's The Nun. That's the one I have. I'm like, that's kind of cool. I just have a memory of him. But other than that, like, I don't have anything else. I'm like, darn. I mean, it's not about the money, it was just nostalgia. But anyway, guys, so glad to have moved to Henderson. Met some amazing people out here. I was so glad. Like, I was like, wow, I've got friends. Wow, who knew? Like, I've had friends from, I'm sorry, I'm gonna cry. Okay, so I made some genuine friends out here. Like, they just want to hang out with me to hang out with me. It's not like, oh, what can I gain from you? Like, none of that. So I'm very thankful for that, because it's not what I was used to. Like, except the ones from grade school, and like, and the geocaching and some of the moms from the moms group. But outside of that, it was just like, don't be my friend just because I have something you want. Like, I had no interest in meeting anybody from the schools, because it was like, oh, can you pick up my kid? That's all they wanted, was like swapping things. Like, it's like, no, I'm not gonna do that shit. Like, I'm sorry, I just have nothing in common with these people, and I don't really give a shit about image and all that stuff. And of course, the way I dress, no one's going to talk to my ass. I would pick my kids up in my housekeeping gear. So I just always like kind of stayed on the down low, and just, picked them up from, like, I just sat by myself. I just basically was by myself. So it is, I don't miss those days, and I'm so glad they're over. And I'm so glad I moved, but I wanted to move so long ago. Like, I wanted to get the hell out of this place, but I didn't know, I felt like stuck out there. And so finally, after that one incident that I'll talk about in another video, I was like, I'd get the fuck out of here. And Steve was okay with that, because he had lost his job from 34 years because the business closed. So what was there? We really didn't have anything left to do, and like and my kids were totally okay with leaving. So I was like, let's just get the hell out of here. And so it was like, I never returned back to California. There's nothing there that I would ever want to go back to. I'm like, I don't miss that place at all. So I'm like, my God. So glad. So thank you, Vegas. I had no thoughts that I would ever move near Vegas. Like, it was never in my head, but I love, like, I don't have a gambling problem. I just love Keno. I only play, like, very cheap. So cash out as soon as I win, or, once in a while, I'll win or lose, $20 or so. But for the most part, I break even. I just love that ambiance and the people I hang out with now. And just, genuinely, there's no, like, I know, like, my YouTuber friend, the other me, Mark, will always say, jump on my live stream and I'll, promote your channel. And it's like, okay, only because you told me to. Outside of that, I wouldn't do it. He always says, it's not a problem. You're part of the group, da-da-da. I'm like, okay. I just never want him to think, like, I'm jumping on just for that and I don't like you and you're not my friend. Like, it's not that at all. He's a genuine person and he always promotes me, and I appreciate that. Although I'm sure these people jump on going, what the hell? And they unsubscribe right away because I'm nothing like his quality content. Like, he puts out some good shit. So, but had he not done that, I don't just, I always just jump in to say hi. There's never any intention on my end. Like, it's just to say hi because I don't see him anymore. It feels like we all kind of scattered and we don't really hang out that group anymore. Everyone's doing their own thing. So I'm like, well, the only way to see him is jump on his live stream, I guess, or run into him if I ever go to Fremont, which I don't ever do. So I think that's, there's that too. So anyway, so now I can put that behind me, but I think doing these vlogs is helping me put closure to it, because it just, at the past, made me so angry that, these people just get away with their shit that they've done and nothing said. I've gotten blamed for a lot of things that was never me. It's just because I was associated to him by marriage that I would get blamed, and I'm sure he smear campaigned my ass to everybody about, oh, it's me, because he did that with that one girl that he was dating. So I'm like, yeah, that's probably it. So, and it is what it is, but just glad I'm here now. So thank you guys, and thank you guys, like the YouTube subscribers. I appreciate, getting to know you on the comments and stuff. So again, I'll do another rant someday. I can't always promise when it's going to be. It's just going to be when it is. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Bye, everybody.